My wife will no longer let me pursue my hobbies. Before our marriage 7 months ago, I was interested in all sorts of things like playing video games for at least a few hours per week, collecting Star Wars figures, painting Warhammer 40K, etc. These are things that I had done since my early teens. My wife wanted us to make healthy lifestyle changes after our marriage, which at first I took as just eating healthier, exercising, etc. So I was totally on board for it. Everything was fine until I went down to the basement one day and noticed all of my Star Wars figures were gone from the display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from a few of the figures. My wife was at work, so I sent her a text asking what happened to them. In the meantime, I rummaged through all of the garbage and finally found the figures in the bigger garbage next to the garage. Most of the cards were torn up and the figures dismembered, while others were completely burned or melted. I took a picture and sent it to her, asking if she did it. That night, after not replying to any of my texts, I confronted her. It turned into a huge argument about how my hobbies are immature and that she was repulsed by them, even threatening to not sleep with me until I gave them up. In the heat of the moment, I agreed with her, if only to get her to stop yelling at me. We haven't talked about it since, and I've unfortunately been abiding by her rules for the past 7 months. Though I've been secretly playing video games, buying figures, she only found out about it one time, and she destroyed it immediately. I can't keep this up any longer. I want to have my own hobbies without her getting upset. What is the best way to bring the subject up again, and how can I let her know how much my hobbies mean to me? Relevant comments. 1. This is abusive. She loved you for years while you did your hobbies, so what's changed now? She's shaming you for your passion and throwing out and destroying your stuff without talking to you about it. 2. Marriage doesn't mean she's your mom or your boss. You are still your own person. Yeah, take your partner into consideration and all, but Jesus F. Your wife, husband, partner doesn't have the right to tell you what you are allowed to do. 3. The melting and ripping up his Star Wars stuff is insane. How would his wife feel if he decided he only wanted to see her in revealing clothes, so he just cut up and threw out all her favorite clothes but kept the slutty ones? Update, I'm currently at my best friend's house, drafting an email to send to my lawyer first thing in the morning. What led to this decision? I had decided to hook my Xbox up to the living room television and gauge what my wife's reaction would be when she came home from work and saw me playing. She immediately unplugged my Xbox and yelled that I was disgusting and going back on our promise. I told her that I deserved to have my own hobbies, and she told me that no real husband has those kinds of hobbies. She then grabbed the Xbox and threw it at the TV. Both shattered upon impact and I was appalled. I couldn't believe she had done that and she showed no remorse. She just looked at me angrily and said things like this were unhealthy and she didn't need a husband who had these hobbies. I told her that she was free to go find a real husband, and I packed a small bag and drove to my friend's house. I feel kind of relieved, but also sick to my stomach. Relevant comments. I'm going to be real with you. You cannot stay with this abusive woman and live a happy life. Divorce sucks, but admitting you made a mistake in choosing a partner and moving on now is better than admitting it after wasting 5 or 10 or 20 more years being unhappy in this mess. Now, here is another perspective. My fiancé is not into video games or action figures, but I still have a ton of video games and action figures displayed prominently in our living room, because I'm into them and she likes it when I'm happy. That's how healthy relationships work. Update 2. My wife has been texting me nonstop, asking where I went and telling me to come back to the house. She even claimed she was pregnant and that I was abandoning my own child, only to backtrack a few minutes later. I'm making sure to save all of these texts in case my lawyer thinks they could come in use. My lawyer has also suggested not to confront or communicate with my wife until divorce proceedings can be put into motion. Meanwhile, I went to gather my valuable belongings while she was at work. Update 3. The divorce proceedings are currently underway. My ex-wife has been incredibly apologetic for not only the main incident in my post, but also for how she's been treating me in general. She has also agreed to pay me a lump sum for the figures. We came to a mutual agreement in terms of the value. Overall, she has been acting surprisingly reasonable throughout all of this. I feel like this is a positive turning point in my life. Thank you all for giving me the courage to finally take action.